They ripped the girl's shirt at the diner. Not knowing she was the Hells Angels' sister, the diner was buzzing with the usual crowd, truckers, bikers, and locals grabbing their late-night meals. Behind the counter stood Lena, a quiet waitress with a kind smile and tidy soup. Subscribe my channel's True Kindness Fact. No one really knew much about her except that she always kept to herself and never caused trouble. But that night, trouble found her. 3 drunk men swaggered in, loud and arrogant, mocking everyone in sight. When Lynn accidentally spilled coffee on one of them, their laughter turned cruel. They cornered her near the counter, taunting her, and before anyone could react, one of them grabbed her shirt and ripped it. The diner froze. What they didn't know, what they couldn't have known, was that Lena wasn't just any waitress. She was the sister of one of the most feared Hells Angels leaders in the state. And he was only a few minutes away. Lena had been working double shifts for weeks, trying to save money for her little brother's school trip. Despite her exhaustion, she always greeted customers with the same gentle warmth. The regulars liked her. She was calm, respectful, and never nosy. But tonight felt different. A cold wind had followed, and 3 men wearing leather jackets that didn't belong to any club. Just cheap copies to look tough. They ordered burgers and beers, laughing loudly and picking on anyone who looked their way. Lena approached their table, forcing a polite smile. "Hey, fellas. Just a reminder, no alcohol inside. Diner rules." One of them sneered. "Sweetheart, we make the rules wherever we go." The other two laughed. Lena stepped back, unease curling in her gut. She'd seen this type before, men who thought the world bowed to them. She turned to walk away, but a hand grabbed her wrist. "Come on, don't be shy," the man slurred. "Sit with us," she jerked free, voice trembling. "Please let me go, or I'll call my manager." The diner grew silent. The biggest of the 3 stood, towering over her. "You think you can tell us what to do?" he growled, pushing her back against the counter. In one cruel motion, he yanked her shirt, ripping it open. Gasps echoed. Lena froze, not in fear, but in fury. Her trembling hands reached for the phone under the counter, dialing a number she'd promised herself she'd never use. 1 ring, 2 rings. A deep voice answered. "Sis? You okay?" Her voice broke. "They touched me, Cole." The line went silent for a second, then she heard engines roar in the distinct within 10 minutes. The sound of Harley engines thundered through the night. The ground seemed to shake as more than a dozen bikers, all wearing the same menacing black injured patches, Hells Angels, pulled up outside the diner. The door burst open, and Cole, Lena's brother, walked in first. His eyes scanned the room, cold and burning. The 3 men stiffened, their earlier arrogance melting into fear. Everyone else stepped back. Cole walked up to his sister. Her shirt was torn, eyes watery but steady. He gently took off his leather jacket and wrapped it around her shoulders. "Who?" he asked, his voice low and calm. To calm, she pointed silently. The men began stammering excuses. "We didn't mean to, it was an accident." Cole raised his hand, and his crew surrounded them instantly. The leader of the drunk men tried to push past, but one biker slammed him against the counter. Another flicked the neon sign off. The diner plunged into dim red light. Cole leaned in, whispering, "You don't touch women. Not in my town. Not ever." The sound of breaking glass and muffled screams followed. No one inside moved. When the police arrived 20 minutes later, the 3 men were sitting outside, bruised, bloodied, but alive. Lena looked out the window as her brother spoke to the sheriff, who simply nodded. Everyone in town knew no one messed with the Hells Angels, and especially not with Cole Ryder's sister. The next morning, the diner was strangely quiet. The sheriff had already filed his report, drunk and disorderly conduct. No charges pressed. The men had been taken to the hospital, but they refused to say who done it. They knew better. Lena came in for her shift, nervous about what people might think. But instead of whispers or judgment, she was met with smiles, nods, and quiet respect. Regulars left bigger tips. Truckers who once ignored her now held doors open. Her boss walked up, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. "You didn't deserve what happened, Lena, and you're stronger than any of us realized." Cole walked in later, helmet in hand. "You sure you still want to work here?" She smiled softly. "Yeah, I'm not running from fear, Cole, not anymore." He nodded, pride flickering in his eyes. "That's my sister." As he walked out, a new sign went up near the counter, handwritten by the owner, "Respect women, always, or leave." That night, the diner felt different, safer. Lena knew she'd been through hell, but she'd come out stronger. She wasn't just a waitress anymore. She was a survivor, a fighter, and the sister of a man who made sure no one would ever hurt her again. If you believe no woman should ever face fear or disrespect, share this story. Let the world know kindness and courage always win. And standing up for what's right can change everything.